Hey guys, Ron here, and a while back I made a video in which I created Pokemon evolutions for Pokemon like Dunsparce and Sigilyph, and now we're gonna continue with 5 more. Make sure to check out the previous one if you haven't, and let me know if you want part 3 for Pokemon like Xatu, Torkoal, and Maractus to receive evolutions. Just keep in mind that since we've had many years to speculate on some of the evolved forms that I'm going to make, everybody has a different idea as to what they want their Girafarig or Chatot evolution to look like. So keep your expectations a bit down, cause my interpretation of these Pokemon won't exactly be like yours. Let's start with Porygon 2. I know what you're thinking, Porygon Z exists, but that's the point. Porygon Z is a glitched version of what Porygon 2's evolution was supposed to be. The dubious disc was given to Porygon 2 so it can travel to alien dimensions, but this new evolution ended up glitching. So how about we make a Porygon 3, what Porygon Z was supposed to be. They gave Porygon 2 a patch to fix all the coding kinks that made it glitch out when evolving. Since Porygon 2 is smoother than Porygon 1, as an allusion to the better technology that allows 3D models to subdivide, I'm going to show that my Porygon 3 is the next step in computer graphics. In order to do so, it will resemble an actual duck a little more. I don't want it to be a straight up duck though, it's still a Porygon. The base is actually going to be a Porygon 2, but since it's going to have technology that is a few years after Porygon 2's creation, this 3D model will have displacement maps, normal maps, and diffuse maps, or texture as you know it. I know I want it to smile and show emotion, but the most important thing is that everything on its body is in sets of 3. 3 head feathers, 3 chest feathers, 3 tail feathers, and 3 toes. I still want it to be this futuristic Pokemon so it won't just be a duck, but a floating duck-like being. Originally the design on its chest was going to be feather-like, but then I played around with making it look pixelated since it's just a step up from Porygon 2 and not completely HD graphic-wise, but I decided that I should give it its HD texture back, making sure the colors work, and here it is. Porygon 2 evolves into Porygon 3 after trading while holding the decisive disc. This next generation of Porygon is able to travel through dimensions and make independent decisions and actions. It is the perfected version of Porygon and can infinitely learn in order to constantly update itself. Academics believe that this Pokemon has actual emotions and thoughts. It takes an experienced trainer to command Porygon. It will only allow those it trusts to lead them into battle. It has become fond of humans and their mistakes. It finds their quirks to be amusing and plays along with their imperfections. Here's the shiny, by the way. It has the abilities Adaptability and Download, but most importantly, a new version of Protean as its hidden ability called Update. I find this Pokemon to be super appealing and love its nod to 3D graphics. Hopefully it's usable and not going to be inferior to an Eviolite Porygon 2. Next is Carbink. Now, it's actually relatively powerful and technically has a relative in Diancie, but that's why it would be super interesting to make an evolution. Diancie is a sudden mutation of Carbink, one that is rare and royal. Since Carbink are known to live in colonies with their queen, what if we made some soldier Carbinks, ones that guard the queen but aren't as powerful as her? A big buff evolution of Carbink that is still cute, but can defend its Diancie. I want its ears to be rabbit-like, almost like an actual carbuncle. This is why I gave it a cute little rabbit nose under its eyes, but that'll be scrapped. I still want it to be a rock monster. I gave it a big body and experimented with having a rock butt, just like Carbink and Diancie, but that looks odd and would defeat the purpose of its evolution. It should be better and more mobile. I gave it rocky legs. They're jagged and rocky like Carbink's bottom. And since the arms looked boring, I decided to give it diamonds for hands. That would be pretty practical in battle. Some crystals around the body isn't anything new, but now I'm giving it patterns in the lower half to show that this rock is sedimentary and made of different types of rock. And here's my guy. Carbink, when leveled up while knowing Play Rough, evolves into Carbunk, from Carbuncle, Carbon, and Bonk. It just felt right, not gonna lie. Carbunk defends its fellow Carbink and their queen. The diamonds at the end of their arms are unbreakable and can be used to dig, block, and attack. The most vicious of Carbunk will sharpen their diamonds and pierce their enemies repeatedly, but the average Carbunk prefers to, well, bonk their enemies on the head with a single devastating blow. If their queen is completely safe, these Pokemon are happy and carefree, but when their colony is somehow in danger, they will efficiently fight until the threat is neutralized. Its ability is either Clear Body or Sturdy, but its hidden ability is Diamond Fist, which powers up punching moves. Its new signature move is Diamond Punch, a rock-type move with 75 base power and 100% accuracy. It has a 30% chance of critical hit too. Here's the shiny. I think this Pokemon strikes a fine balance of strong and cute. Once again, I love gentle giants. This Pokemon is honorable and dutiful. I always love a Pokemon with a code of conduct. Now let's move on to Druddigon. It's a Pokemon I love, but there are a great amount of people that dislike its color scheme, bland typing, and rugged design. Now I'm not going to change a lot of that, but I'm going to make it stronger, have more of a cohesive color scheme, and look way tougher. Since Druddigan is known for having rock-hard skin and live in caves and tunnels, I'm gonna make a rock dragon evolution and take even more inspiration from the Welsh dragon and gargoyles who are made of rocks. We'll start off with the slightly longer Druddigan body and a head that is more akin to the head of a Welsh dragon, what with the pointy nose, ears, and chin. The wings will be more gargoyle-like, and its body will have different rock segments. It was tough trying to come up with the direction that its rock spikes would go in. I wanted to have a rock gauntlet on each hand and a sharp demon-like tail. Gave it rocks on its wings and fragments of rock around its body to make it look more organic. These also mimic scales, which dragons have. I experimented with the various configuration of rock armor and finally decided to make it look more organic and asymmetrical like actual rock. But now it looks a bit cluttered, so I toned it down a bit and relied on some texture to make it look like rock. The final color scheme really does it even more justice. And what do you know, Druddigan, when traded holding a stone skull, evolves into Druddigan. These Pokemon were hunted in ancient times to the point of extinction. Only by wearing the skull of its ancestor will a Druddigan evolve into the terrifying Druddigan. Their entire body, other than their underbelly, is covered in rugged and jagged rocks. While it can defeat its prey in a number of ways, with every single appendage, it prefers to finish off its opponents with its sharp tail. This Pokemon can fly to an extent. It prefers to make giant leaps. It hoards treasure in the vast mazes it creates in the caves of mountains. It will taunt those brave enough to enter its domain because it loves to battle. It'll lure in enemies into its inescapable labyrinths and camouflage into the rocks and shadows of its abode. Its ability is Rock Head and Solid Rock, with the hidden ability Sheer Force. Its shiny is an homage to the Welsh dragon, and I'm in love with the shade of navy blue that I gave this Pokemon. It complements that yellow which transitions naturally into the red, fixing the problem that some felt with its color scheme. I doubled down on its creepiness, and I hope it doesn't look like this Pokemon is too menacing and contains too much detail. Now it's time to give an evolution to a Pokemon who's had the most anticipated evolution, Luvdisc. We were all fine with Alomomola being a potential evolution, but enough time has passed for a new dream. A dream in which the evolved form of Luvdisc is akin to Wishy-Washy's school form. The Pokemon I'm about to make isn't a form, it's an actual evolution. An organism consisting of many organisms. Each Luvdisc is like a cell. It makes sense. Luvdisc is the rendezvous Pokemon. Luvdisc come together because when they are alone, they're weak and vulnerable. Let's make a strong Luvdisc Evo. So first I had to base the shape of this Pokemon on some kind of real fish. A fish that is big but not too scary like a shark, so I based it on a sunfish like Alomomola. The Luvdisc are gonna act like the scales to this big fish, which ties in with the whole heart scale attribute that Luvdiscs have. It's pretty straightforward. I took heavy inspiration from Wishy-Washy, so that design guided the creation of this design. And there it is, Luvvicious, from love, discus, fish, and vicious. And even viscous, something that is kinda between a solid and a liquid. This Pokemon can only be evolved by having a full team of Luvdisc and letting them play in my region's version of Pokemon Camp, Pokemon Oasis. When enough Luvdisc come together and bond to the point of them being inseparable, a phenomenon happens where they evolve together as part of an organism called Luvvicious. The menacing mother of the sea. The love that these Luvdisc have for each other is so strong that they won't scatter when wounded. They are unable to be separated. Luvvicious will roam the seas in search of those who have broke the heart of the individual Luvdisc of their previous evolution. Each group of Luvdisc has a different function within the Luvvicious body. When necessary, Luvvicious will let an individual Luvdisc out of its body to temporarily scout or retrieve resources. Here's the shiny, a very soothing shade of blue. Its abilities are Hydration and Water Absorb, with the hidden ability Regenerator. I hope you guys like it. I think Luvdisc is the most appropriate water type to receive some kind of school form and an evolution, so I'm glad I could combine it. It was a tough one to make though. Also a fun take on how extremely codependent relationships can become destructive and toxic. And finally, it's time for Girafarig's evolution. I'm gonna combine two very apt or appropriate origins into this Pokemon. Many languages use mythical creatures as the name for real-world animals. Well, in Japanese, a giraffe is called a kirin, after the Asian unicorn. Giraffes were even thought to be kirins in ancient times. Girafarig's name is Kirinriki, a Japanese palindrome of giraffe, just like Girafarig is in English. So how about I give its evolution a long neck and gave it some mythical kirin elements? And finally, I will combine it with its beta design, where its tail was another dark Girafarig. First, I'm sketching out the proportions of a giraffe. I wanted to finally have a giant neck. The face was super hard to get right, and won't be final until the very end. I wanted to have one horn on its head like a unicorn, and jagged lips like a dragon. Now before this point, I was going to make this Pokemon Dark Psychic since its tail is more developed, but its top half is still in control, and it now has dragon attributes. And like Alolan Executor, we know that long neck equals dragon. I still don't know how much flowing hair I'm going to give it, like the Kirin has. The tail was conflicting. I didn't know if I wanted it to still be a vague creature, or to give it a straight up Girafarig head that is more evil looking. I settled with an evil Girafarig. I gave it a separation between the two halves by incorporating a mane in the middle, some spots and more touches of hair to make it look legendary like the Kirin. I'm adjusting some stuff and making other parts more defined, decided to open up the mouth a little in the final design, and there you go! When given a Psychic Stone, Girafarig evolves into Girafarin, from Giraffe and Kirin. It is a dragon psychic type. When psychic energy made its tail start to become more intelligent and controlling, the front half of Girafarig was forced to grow as well, in order to stay in control. It is now more destructive and powerful. It rules its tail half by intimidation and fear. The tail is rather intelligent now, and knows to follow its front half. But now that the tail exhausts more energy, this Pokemon must constantly eat. The front head will eat all the leaves at the top of a tree, while the bottom will eat from the lower branches. It can eat an entire forest in 1 week, but is intelligent enough to farm. It will use telekinesis to plant seeds to replenish its food supply. Here's the blue shiny. Its abilities are the same as Girafarig. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Politely, of course. Leave a like if you enjoyed and want more, and subscribe if you haven't. Check my description for the music I used, the t-shirts I made for you guys, and my Patreon where you can get cool rewards like seeing my videos days early. You can also get rewards by clicking the join button to become a member. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram to see the final artwork of my Pokemon, and I'll see you guys very soon.